Hello everyone and welcome to the end of chapter homework video for exercise 20.30. We've come a long way. In this video we're going to use recursion to search for a string in a directory structures. Now what I mean by this is we're going to find a file containing a specified section of text. We're looking for a certain string in a file that has a directory structure that contains a lot of files. So we're going to recursively search the directory structure and print out any matches that we find. So with that, let's get started. I've created a new project, and to it we're going to add a new class called exercise-20_30. Oops, shouldn't have a space there. There we go. Now what we need to do is import a couple of packages. Import java.io.star, and really the only other thing we need is the scanner class. So import java.util.scanner, not the whole package. So first up, let's work on our main method. So public static void main string array args. Now we're going to work out the directory name and what we're looking for using command line arguments. So we need to make sure we've got the right number of them. So if args.length does not equal 2, then we're going to print out an error, a message telling the user how to use the program. So system.out.println usage java exercise 20_30 directory name, word. So that's how it's going to work. The first argument is going to be the directory name to search in, and the next is going to be the word that we're looking for. But inside here, actually, we can system.exit. Alright, so at this point we know they've got the command line arguments correct. So what we're going to do now is call our recursive method to do the search. So find in file, new file, args at 0, args at 1. I've spelt file wrong. Whoops. And that didn't fix it. There we go. Now this is a method that we haven't written yet, but we're just about to. The point is, find in file is going to be a recursive method. It accepts the file, which is either an actual file or a directory that we're looking in, and then what we're looking for. So needle, haystack, that kind of thing. So let's have a look at the find in file method. Public static long find in file. So we're going to take in a file and a word. Okay, so what we're going to do now is declare a long called number of files equals 0. Next, we have to handle these cases differently depending on whether it's a directory or a file. So because remember, a directory is just a special type of file, but we don't want to search the contents of a directory. Well, I couldn't word that any worse. When we find a directory, we want to search all the files in the directory. So that's what we need to do here. So if the file is a directory, let's get all the files that it contains. So our file array files equals list files. So next, for int I equals 0, I less than files dot length I plus plus. What we're going to do is make the recursive call to find in file. Okay, so if it's not a directory, this is our escape condition for the recursive call. Find word in the current file, look for word. And we're actually going to increment the number of files plus plus. And then we're going to return that number. That'll tell us how many files we've actually searched. Okay, so next up, we need to do this case where we're actually looking inside a file. So another method now, and it's going to be public static void find word file string word. Okay, so we're going to use scanner to read a file. Normally we've used scanner to actually read from the keyboard, but it can read from any input stream. So that's what we're going to do here. So we need a try block. So scanner input equals new scanner. Well, input dot has next. In other words, while we haven't got to the end of the file yet, we're going to read a line of the file. So string line equals input dot next line. And then we're going to look in that line for what we're searching for. If line dot index of, which will do that functionality for us, we're looking for word, and if it's greater than -1, that means we've found it, which is good news. What we're going to do is print out the name of the file and the line we found the text on. Just like that. Alright, so that's the end of that. That's the end of our try block. So up here, we're going to make sure we close the file. So at the end of our try block now, we'll need a catch to catch any IO exception that might get thrown. And all we're going to do here is print the stack trace, which is useful for debugging, but not a very nice thing to leave inside in your code for a production program, because users don't like to see stack traces. But developers like them because it makes debugging easy. Okay, so what have I done wrong here? I forgot the name of the parameter. So there's one thing I've done wrong. So what else have I done wrong? I don't know why I put that there. That should be a semicolon. I've really messed up this code. There we go. That's better. So now, I've messed up find in file as well. Yep, I did. There we go. You guys, I know, were watching me do that and go, oh, he's making a mistake. But you didn't say anything, so thanks a lot. Anyway, there's our code completely written. So why don't we test this now and see it working? So here we are, we've got a command prompt, and if I type dir, you can see that I'm in the project bin directory. Here's our class, and here are a bunch of files. And really what we need to do is find out all the files that contain the word Michael in it. Kind of a contrived example, I know, but it will demonstrate it well. So first up, Java. Now we don't need the dot class. Alright, so we're getting our usage method printed out correctly. So let's look for, in the current directory, so dot, let's look for Michael. Oh, look at that. It found it in file 1 and it found it in file 3. So if we look in these files, can I type notepad? Yes, I can. So there's what file 1 contained, and file 3 contained something that had that line on it. So with that, actually, why don't we prove that this is recursing into directories? So let's make a directory. And we'll call this temp. And then we will move... It's been a long time since I've used DOS. Let's move file 1 into temp. So now if I type dir, that's gone. And we can run this again. And it still found it because it's recursively traversing into any directories that it finds as well. So really, that's fantastic, and it shows our program is working well. So with that, that's really it for this video. What we did, we recursively traversed the directory tree, and we looked in the contents of every file we found for the search string, and if it matched, we printed out the path to the file. So really, That's fantastic. And that's all there is for this video. So thanks a lot.